In this video, you're going to see an example of a coaching session, which uses the three-stage model to structure the conversation. It's an unrehearsed coaching conversation about a real issue. It's edited to focus on some key parts of the use of the framework in action. Usually, the first few minutes of a coaching meeting are about establishing or re-establishing rapport and agreeing or confirming the coaching contract. So, what would you like to talk about today, Sarah?
Well, I've got this bit of a quandary actually. So I've been asked to design a Moodle site for a course by some other people. It's a course that I used to be in charge of, but I'm not in charge of anymore. And the other people have got some pretty visionary ideas about what they want to do. But now they've gone on leave and they've just said, oh, can you sort that out? And I'll have a look at it when I get back. Now we're not going to have an overlap. So they've kind of given me a bit of a brief and then gone.
So that you're not going to have an overlap in that when they come back you're going to be away?
I'm going to be away, yeah. So there isn't going to be. And then we haven't got very long at the end of the summer to sort it out if it needs sorting out. So I'm pretty much having to go with it. But I'm a little bit paralysed in a way in that I'm trying to second guess what they want it to look like. I know what I used to have it looking like when it was mine, but it's not mine anymore, it's somebody else's. And they've asked me to do it because I've got more technical expertise than they have. But I'm a bit stuck really in how to progress it or how to sort it out.
Have they seen what you've done previously?
I don't know.
Okay, is the brief that they've given you quite different for indicating what they want than what you'd had previously?
It's just really vague.
Oh, okay.
It's just, could you put something together?
Oh, right, okay. Yeah.
Which is just a bit vague. They've kind of gone, this is the vision for the delivery for the module as a whole. So this is the vision.
Sarah says she wants to talk about a Moodle site that she has been asked to set up. Moodle is the virtual learning environment we use at the university, where she is working with two colleagues. But they have not really communicated what they want from the site, and there is now little time for them to talk together before term starts. As the coach, I wanted Sarah to talk more about the site and the process of creating it.
It's something that we've been trying to do for the last 2 or 3 years with varying degrees of success. So it had been my baby since we started doing it. It had been mine. But then some new blood has arrived with arguably better experience in this area. Done it before in a different institution, that kind of thing. And so they've come in and been all happy and bouncy because they're new and enthusiastic and have come in with lots of, have you tried this? Why haven't we doing this? Why aren't we doing that? All that kind of chat in the background.
So how do you feel about that?
A little bit disgruntled, if I'm honest. And originally I was quite enthusiastic because I'd been carrying this flag alone and a lot of head banging on walls and frustration and nobody to kind of bounce ideas off, so that's quite exhausting. So initially I was like, oh, how exciting, some more people who are also enthusiastic about this role. And I thought that we would be, they would be helping me. Yeah. But turns out
you're being asked to help them.
I'm being asked to help them. And the previous work has just been, that was nice.
Oh, okay.
So but now we're doing something marvellous.
Oh, okay.
So
you don't feel they've respected it sufficiently?
Yeah, maybe. I think they probably think they have, and I'm maybe just being oversensitive. I'm not quite sure.
As we talk about the process of establishing the site, it seems there is something more than a problem with scheduling meetings. You said that originally you thought that they were, oh great, it's some more people to work on this, they're going to be helping me, and then you found, actually the plan is that I'm going to be helping them. Is it envisaged that you are going to be working with them on this module as it goes forward?
I'm certainly going to be involved in the delivery.
Yes.
Yeah, it's on my timetable.
Okay.
That's definitely happening.
Okay.
One of the people has drawn up a timetable of what the sessions are going to be and who's responsible for which session. And although we won't be delivering to all of the cohorts, because there's going to be lots of groups, we'll all be delivering the same material each week. across the piece.
Okay.
So sometimes somebody will have written material that I'm delivering.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll write the material that somebody else is delivering.
Yeah. How do you feel about continuing to be involved in this module?
Yeah, I do. I want to be, because I think it's important and it's a useful thing, and it's something I think I'm quite good at delivering. I feel I'm quite a supportive person, and this module is all about supporting the students and helping them grow. So it's not. I do want to be involved from that point of view. Yeah, for sure.
But there are still issues to do with planning and discussing the site.
I think because we haven't had a chance to all sit and go, here's a preliminary outline, these are the things I've thought about since I've been making it, that maybe we haven't thought about before. It doesn't feel quite as well thought through as it might have been if we'd had more chance to sit together with it, really.
After more discussion about the technicalities of the site, it seemed time to sum up the issues that had been raised. One of them is about the basic thing about designing the site and not having enough briefing on it at the moment, and then thinking through, well, how can I make some progress in the day that I've got left, and then look to make some positive progress when we're all back together again. The other thing is about you feeling disgruntled about not being in charge of the module anymore, and you are going to be working with these folks on the module over the course of the next year, and that seems to me to be a related issue but a slightly different one. And I wondered, I mean, if you think actually those are two different issues, I wondered which of those you would like to use the rest of the time we've got here to talk about.
Okay. Probably the disgruntlement, if that's all right.
Yeah, whatever you want to
because
talk about,
I think it's probably one of the things that's stopping me being able to engage fully with the other bit, is that feeling kind of unofficially as well. It's not even been voiced. It's just organically happened, the shifting of responsibility.
How do you mean it's not been voiced?
Nobody said, you're not in charge of this anymore, but they have said, oh, I know, we'll give this new person this title, which implies that they are now responsible for this, and you're not anymore.
Right, okay. And you've been running this module for how long?
2 years.
Okay. Once we have decided about what to discuss further, it's time to move to stage 2. Just looking forward now, Sarah, and thinking about you working with these two people on this module.
Oh, yeah.
And you're feeling at the moment a bit disgruntled because you feel as though they've been given your job, and it's not, you said it was my baby, and it's now it's their baby. If things were to really work out well in an ideal world, how would the three of you work together on this module with the students? In an ideal world, no resource limitations, nothing of that sort.
Initially, when you said that, I thought three musketeers, one for all for one, and one
All
for
for one and one for all.
Yes, so that we're all equally contributing, equally valued by students and staff from the outside alike.
Yeah.
That our contributions are equable.
Yeah.
And seen as equally valuable.
Yeah.
From wherever we're sitting. There are three of us and there are 3 years that need to be managed.
Yeah.
So whether that's a division of labour, whether we are all equable, but we manage a section each, so we're not constantly having to go, and do you think this is all right? And who's in charge of this bit? And that kind of thing. So you're in charge of your own bit.
Okay, so
you've got some element of control.
You'd like to have a bit that you're in control of?
I think so, yeah. And even if we all contribute to all of the bits, there's a responsible person, who's kind of, this is the overview.
Yeah.
But having other voices and other ideas is always lovely.
Yeah. So we get an idea of what Sarah sees as an ideal way of working with her colleagues. As the coach, I summarise this and move to ask Sarah to make a realistic assessment of what can be achieved. But in an ideal world, you'd like the three of you to get on, to work well, three musketeers, all for one and one for all.
Yeah.
You would like to be equally valued, both within the team and from the sound of things also by people from outside of the team. And you'd like to have a patch of control.
Yeah.
You'd like to have one of the years that you were looking after, and the same for the other two folks.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So how much of that do you think is achievable in the next 6 months?
Well, I think the working together, that should be achievable. We're all adults. I should be able to do that. Yes, I should.
There's should and there is, though. I mean, what might get in the way of you doing that?
Oh, my inner grumpy child going, you didn't love me enough. Why don't you think I'm terribly important? That bit of slightly nose out of joint, damaged pride, child sulking in the corner thing.
Right.
But if I recognise that and notice it, and maybe even share that with the other people and say, when you first came, how stupid, this is what I felt like. Yeah. But now it's fine.
It's time to move towards thinking about what Sarah is going to do. Right, so we've got an idea of where it is you'd like to be. You have got some time available, you've got some help from the cell team in order to get there. Let's have a think about the various things that you could be doing in order to get to where you want to be.
Right, so I think one of the things I could do is send an email to the other two people explaining where the site is at the moment, what my thinking was behind the construction of it and the ordering of the stuff, what my thinking is going forward, what I think are the strengths about the way it's done, and what I think maybe are things that we need to think about a bit more, so that that's all kind of laid out, and then they've got time to read that and digest it while I'm away. So that then maybe that'll help them understand a bit more about what's gone on while they haven't been around. So I think I could do that today. And then I think maybe at the end of the email suggest that we meet up when we're all back.
So is there, do you think there's a way in which you could initiate a suggestion for a date as to when you meet up, or is that too difficult?
I'm not sure, because I don't know what their diaries are going to be like at all when they get back, because one of them's new, so they'll have to be going to endless induction sessions and stuff. So I think maybe I'll just outline in the bottom of the email the dates when I'm going to be around, and then say, can we meet up somewhere in the middle of, in one of these periods when I've got some free time when I'm back, and kind of try and get it as soon as possible, really, so that we've got then the longest amount of time to actually enact any action plans.
And when you have that opportunity to talk with them, what kind of things do you think that you could do in order to try and move to the all for one and one for all situation that you'd like to get to?
Well, I think I might have a conversation with the current colleague first, privately, and just say, this is the story of my emotions as we've gone through. Now, I don't want this to cloud my relationship with the other person, because it's not of their doing at all. I just wanted you to be aware that if I'm a little bit scratchy, that might be why, but I'm going to try really hard to not let that happen. So I think that might be a little bit of air clearing, maybe. Might be useful before the three of us all get together. So that this colleague who's is more aware of how to manage the group dynamic, maybe a little bit, to stop the enthusiastic new puppy bouncing all over me.
So, do you think your current colleague's got any inkling that you're feeling this way?
No.
How well do you get on with them at the moment?
Oh, fine.
I think there's more that we could do on the planning, Sarah, but sadly we've run out of time.
Yes.
I'll look forward to catching up with you on our next session which I think is in about a month's time when you're back from holiday.
Yes.
And I'm back from holiday. And I really look forward to seeing how you've got on.
Yeah, well, I've got steps to take, so yeah, I've got things to do, so that's fine.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Thank you very
It's been
much.
helpful. Thank you.
So we can see that the three-stage model in action here, in use as a framework for structuring a coaching conversation. It's not used in the same way every time. In this example, I spent quite a lot of time on stage 1, and as time was running out, we spent less time on stage 3 than perhaps might have been ideal. But it varies from conversation to conversation. I hope you can now see to a better extent how it can be applied in action.